Well, this is Jeff and Jody, grid-free gypsies. We're up here in beautiful Michigan in the UP at Copper Harbor at, what is this campground?
Trails End.
Trails End Campground. We seen Dome Life that was up here a couple, 3 weeks ago. And looked interesting, figured we'd come up and check it out, and here we are. Wow, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. We're at site 54, good site. Want to take a look? Want to come up here?
Sure.
Got Jetty pulled up in here, and she's looking mean, lean and mean.
Dusty.
And dusty and dirty. Pretty well empty. We got all of our gear out. Again, we just used Jetty as basically a transport. Nothing more, nothing less. Got the Blue Eddy taking in solar. We're at 50%. We hadn't had solar though for 3 days.
Right.
3 days.
2 days.
2 days. 2.5
Yeah.
days. So haven't had solar, so running the fridge and everything else we need to run. I mean, with the cheesy Chinese panels, it's still kind of holding its own. Got windscreens here that keeps the bugs out, and they help shade also. They just slip over. See from the inside here. Just slip over. That's all they do. Let that move again. So fit pretty good. Keeps sun and bugs and stuff out. Got our water heater on top. Solar water heater. That's about the only really modification I've done to the van. Is put a 110 just pass through. It has a like an extension cord, 2-foot extension cord on the other end, just according to campground and the weather's inclement. I've got an extension cord I can plug into power. But again, name of the channel is Grid Free Gypsy, so we're not plugging into the grid and for power. So anyways, it's there. Cheesy Chinese solar setup. As you can see, we're about ready to lose sun. We're about done with sun today. Don't know what time it is, don't care, but sun's done. These are supposed to be 300 watt foldable panels. These things fold up. Bam. And they are, as you can see, super light. I think they're what, 12 pounds?
Something like that. They don't weigh very much.
10, 12 pounds. They weigh nothing. And they're made to lay flat on the ground, but I just have it tilted up. It's late in the day, and we were just trying to grab a little bit more sun. Like I said, we've not had power for we've not had any solar for probably decent solar for 3 days. And the Blue Eddy, what's the model number again? EB?
200.
EB200P. Still holding strong. We've abused it the last 3 or 4 days. And
Been using it to run the fridge.
Yeah, run the fridge, and no issues whatsoever. It's dropped down to 32% as the lowest, and that was not plugging it into 12 volt, not plugging into solar, not doing anything. It ran the fridge and anything else?
My computer for a little bit.
Fridge and computer for a little bit for the last 3 days, and it only brought it down to 32%. So pretty pleased, pretty powerful little unit. So no issue. As you can see, we're up here. This area of Copper Harbor and stuff is known for, other than the mines and Lake Superior and the glow-in-the-dark rocks and the northern lights and etc., mountain biking. So, got the mountain bikes. There's Jody's Diamondback. And here's mine. This is a Schwinn forget the name of it, but really nice bike for department store Schwinn. This thing's amazing. I might do a video on that thing by itself. It's a $450 bike, but worth every penny. It's worth twice the money. I looked at Giant, Specialized, you name it, and man, I tell you what, for $450, the thing's amazing. These are little low slung chairs. We looked forever for camp chairs. Man, you wouldn't think camp chairs would be hard to find, or something that would fit, that's compact and comfortable. And so far, these are about it. We've tried 34. I don't even know if you can buy these anymore. We bought these years and years ago. Celsius. And these are backpack chairs. They make into a backpack. They just fold up like that, and you turn them around. They have a little bungee that clips over, and these clip onto the bottom and make a backpack. And then when you get to wherever you're going, they just spin back around. And that easy. They're all heavy duty mesh. We've used these at the beach, woods, forest, every place in between. And nice chairs. Like I said, I don't even know if you can get these anymore, but highly recommend them if you can. These things are awesome. We're getting ready to replace this. This has been a good sturdy table for years. We've used this Key West to Colorado to
Canada.
Arizona to Canada to you name it. But there's some better ones. We're going to get into the table situation later. Just found these little gems. Jody found these at a flea market. These, you can see they still have plastic on them. You want to tell them the story on this real quick? It's funny.
So we were at the flea market, and there were 4 of them. They were leaned up against the guy's tire
There you
of his
tell it.
truck while he was set up at the flea market and had a bunch of just kind of rickety tables. And I asked him if they were for sale, and he says, no, they actually go with my table over there that I have stuff sitting on. He goes, and I hate that table. It's a pain every time I have to set it up. And I said, well, then why don't you get rid of the chairs? And he goes, well, I guess I could do that. I said, how about $10? He says, okay.
So we bought 4 of them for $10.
You can throw in the rickety table, and he says, no. And I said, that's okay. I said, we just need the chairs.
Yep.
So we got 4 of them.
We got that one, and then we have 2 more in the basement at home.
Those will be the backups.
Yeah, that's the back. Okay, now that the wind's calmed down, real quick, we process all of our own firewood. Have a Ryobi brushless 40-volt chainsaw, and I took the 16-inch bar off and put a 10-inch bar on it off the expanded. Amazing. Get into that another time. For water, we right here, pump it up. You got water, running water at the campsite. Super simple. Again, no power, you got running water. Hit the button on top, you got water.
We can either refill it with potable water if there's some available at a campground, and if not, Walmart has the Primo refill stations.
Yeah, the Primo, we use either the refill stations, or if we get water where it's not known, we'll filter it and run it through. We have a Sawyer water filtration system we can use, but you can find water anywhere. Seriously, there's no sense in taking a chance on drinking water that is. Go to Walmart, $1 something, refill it. You're all in. I mean, 10 gallons of water will last 2 of us bathing, drinking, eating, cooking, whatever, for 10 days. We use about 1 gallon a piece a day. And you've seen our little solar shower up there. I mean, 2 liters of warm water sitting on top of the van, and we'll get into the specifics on this, but we got a little shower head that screws on there. Works great. Again, no issues. And here we are at Shangri-La, Cooper Shangri-La. Seriously, this is where we do our business. That's just a little pop-up portable shower tent. And as you can see, here's this is a footstool that came with one of our random chairs that we had, and I just took a soldering iron and burned a hole in it. We just pop a plastic bag in it, or you can dig a hole underneath of it, whatever you prefer. But nice, clean, sanitary. There's a pooper. So if you ask, how do you go to the restroom, either in the van or out here or anywhere, there it is. We got a little bamboo shower mat in there. You want to go in there and take a look? This is vented. It has a couple vents. This thing has a bottom actually in it. We don't use it. I just pull it up in the back and just leave it pulled up in the rear of the tent. But we'll roll up bamboo shower mat, stores up underneath the fridge while we're traveling. But awesome, keeps the dirt off your feet and everything. But I can take a nice warm shower in here in private, and somebody can be standing 10 feet away and wouldn't have a clue what's going on. So we normally set this up pretty much. Of course, you can't set this up Walmart parking lot, but out here in the sticks, yeah, pretty awesome. Oh, yeah, Jody's pee jug.
Because I have to have something IKEA.
Yeah.
So it's an IKEA watering can. Jeff cut the spout a little shorter for me.
So that's how she goes to the restroom at night.
Yep.
And yes, as far as our living situation, sleeping situation, or day-to-day situation, I wouldn't necessarily say we're tenors. We're tenors, but we're tarpers also. I don't know if that's a term or not, but I'd say we're tarpers more than tenors. We use tarps for everything. As you can see, I've got a tarp strung from tree to tree. Protects our equipment. It gives us sun protection, wind protection, rain protection, whatever. Doesn't matter. Dew protection. You know, if it's wet overnight or something, get a heavy dew. $34 to $45 depending on size.
Right, and they're not the Walmart or Harbor Freight tarps.
Now, these are Gold Armor, but they're not very expensive. Again, we get these poles, these extendable poles on Amazon, the Gold Armor tarps, and man, I mean, I can stretch these things. I've got an amazing amount of tension on some of these, and they've held up great. We've used them several times, and so far I've got zero gripes about them. They're amazing. They wash. Take them to the laundromat and use them in a tumble washer.
And then hang them on the line to dry.
Anybody's interested in these, but we tarp over, bottom line, we tarp over everything that we possibly can. Okay. Dump truck's done dumping. Apparently. Wow. They're doing a lot of work on this place. It's still under development, I guess you can say. They're building a lot of new structures. They're developing campsites, building cabins. They're doing a lot of work here. So there's a lot of construction going on right now during the day. But nighttime, dead quiet last night.
Yes.
For the most part, it was, except for people coming in late setting up, it was quiet. So anyway, back, we're tarpers, yes. We hang tarps over everything. It's cheap insurance. Bottom line, it's cheap insurance. It keeps your equipment nice, keeps it protected from the sun, wind, rain, blah, blah, blah. So, we have two different tents we actually use. This is the largest of the two with the dark room technology. has a little screen portico here that we use for storage of all of our rigid. All of our equipment goes in these hard rigid cases. Clothing, food, systems, whatever you want to call it, all of it goes in here. So we have a Toyota 4Runner SR5. We can take all of this, put it in the 4Runner. We can take all of this, and we have 2 camper vans. We can put all this in our 2 large size or full size camper vans, and hit the road. But all of our basic living equipment, power equipment, whatever you day-to-day living and everything else is all in these boxes. They come apart. Again, we'll do a separate video, again, if there's any interest, but these things are amazing. Can't highly recommend them enough. Our tent is huge. We have, again, this is the larger of the two. This is what, 10 by 10? 12 by 10?
No, it's 12 by 12, and then there's
12 by 12
extra for the porch.
Yeah, 4 or 5 foot portico out front. But here's our bed. You want to take a look at this? We basically have a full-size bed, but it's air mattresses under cots. So we have 2 comforters. We have a heavyweight and a lightweight, depending on weather.
If it's cold, the heavy one goes on top, and if
Sure.
it's warm, the light one goes on top.
Then we have a double blow-up mattress. Then we have 2 singles of the Kelty, or Climate, sorry. And then 2 of these beauties, these quick snap together hammocks. These things, now these have 2 different, these have a mesh fabric for really hot weather that allows everything to breathe. These are the warmer ones. These are a solid with a reflectix on the bottom and stay really, really warm. So yeah, we have all of that together. We have regular bed sheets,
Which keep everything together.
locks everything tight, regular sheet, regular duvet. Bam, there's our bed. Jody uses regular pillows. I like the Climate blow-up pillows myself. I like them. They pack the size of a baseball and super comfortable. I use it at home. I use that exact same pillow at home. Again, I'll show them in a different video. But storage pockets. This all stays open. This back screen, but you can bring the rain fly in tight at night, and then close these 2 side vents. These 2 all closes up, and this is like pitch black in here. I mean, it is dark. So pretty pleased with it so far.
We do keep our clothes storage in here,
Yeah,
just because it's
right
handy with the bigger tent. The bigger tent, we actually have room to change.
Yeah,
And
this
then-
is a huge one, but we have a small one that's 8 by 8.
Underneath, we also have kind of what we call
Yeah.
sort of a camping pad. It's sort of a beach blanket type.
Has a reflectix on one side and a nice felt, like a felt on the other. We keep that underneath for cushion. Of course, there's a big 12 by 12, 144 square foot ground cloth underneath all of this. So this tent's fairly new to us. This is only the 2nd time we've had this up.
Yes.
2nd time we've had this up, so fairly new to us. We've been using another small 8 by 8 that it pops up like an umbrella.
In the last video.
10 seconds, pops right up. We love it. And we use that a lot, and we've used it several times. I can't tell you how many times we've used it.
It's great for short stays. We're only going to be someplace for 2 or 3 days.
Pull in a few minutes, you're sleeping. You pop the thing up. You throw your bed. Everything we have is quick setup. We can pull in dead of night and still sleep reasonably well. And that was our goal. We've been using the Campervan for almost 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're used to boondocking in it, but living in it. being able to pull in Walmart, Cracker Barrel, wherever, and just, we're there. We're crawling back, we go to sleep, but we've never been able to sleep both of us in there comfortably. You can't even sleep one person in there comfortably. And
The bed's short.
It's short side to side. You try to lay diagonal. I stayed in it myself for almost 2 months and just could not get comfortable in it. So again, a story for another time. But bottom line, sleep pretty good out here with the fresh breeze coming in. Again, if we're chasing the weather and just not having to spend all of our time, resources, and money trying to change climate inside the cave or inside the RVs. I mean, we hear generators running all the time and this, and we see it everywhere we go. People are just trying to change the climate of the rolling cave. And we've done it for years. And, you know, stupid.
And again, as we said in one of the previous videos, we're chasing the climate instead of creating it.
Just go with the weather. If you've already got this mobile, kind of nomadic, whatever you want to call it, gypsy lifestyle that you kind of just float around anyway, why not just go where the weather's nice anyways, or there's fun stuff to do, or don't stay in a place where it's miserable. We've watched YouTube videos on this for years. Again, we've been doing this before there was any YouTube videos on this. They were non-existent. We tried to find videos, how do you live in a van or RV or on the road, and you know, Bob Wells come up several times, but he had nothing on his website. It was just a website with very little on it, and he had really no YouTube videos or anything, so we just bumbled through it. We went out, bought an old cheap $1,000 van and just jumped into it. That was almost 11 years ago. So we've been through the gamut. You know, we had the contractor generator hanging off the back, the bikes, stuff hanging everything, the hillbilly look, if you want to call it that.
And it told everybody we were camping in a camper van.
Sure, scourge of the neighborhood. We've been the gamut. We've had a Class A. We have 33-foot Class A. We've had we still have the camper vans. We still, but now we're back to kind of the basics, and it's more fun. We have more enjoyment. The less we have, the more enjoyment you'll have. The less systems you have, the more enjoyment you'll have. So that's kind of about what we're taking away from this. And we're mid-50s. We're 55 years old, and we're out here mountain biking, living. I mean, we're not in bad shape for our age, and I think a lot of it contributes to us being out here and living a healthy life, whether it be in a tent or a $1 million mansion. Doesn't make any difference. I think this is where it's at. You can live a good life, bottom line, and be happier than we can be, living at home in the cave. So that's what we're just out doing, just trying to enjoy life, bottom line.
More to come. More enjoyment of Copper Harbor.